Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Tina. This is where I share things crafty and creative, and I hope that you want to be crafty and creative too. I am starting a new series and I'm really excited about it. Scrapbooking has been such a huge part of my life for so long. I actually put out a sketchbook every year, and I just love it. This year's sketchbook has 28 sketches in it, and I'm going to go back to this again and again and again. But it got me thinking about all the great layouts that I have done over the years, and I have binders filled, like big binders filled with lots of sketches. And I thought, before I make any decisions, I'm going to start with my binders and go through them. And when I find a layout that I really love, I'm going to show it 3 ways. I'm going to use it. It might be for a workshop, it might be personal, but I'm going to show it and share it at least 3 ways, and then I'm going to write on it that I did it, and it might be time to let some things go. So I grabbed this Blue Skies workshop from close to my heart, and if you're in the Creating With You exclusively Facebook group, this is in the guides. You can just grab this, you can search the files, and you would be able to print this as well. I'll try to share along some measurements and some changes that I made, but here it is when it came out with the workshop as it was designed. And then I went ahead and I remixed it. I love remixing. And since I scrapbook out of order, it is all good things for me. There's always plenty for me to do. All right, so this is part of the baby workshop that I just released, which I think there was only one left of. So it went really quick. So much fun. This was 6 pages. And then here it is again. Okay, so on this one here, I am sharing my journey. Now, one of each of these times, I'm going to do it again. It's actually already ready right here with another one. But at least one of these will be travel themed. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of travel themed layouts that I have to work with. So I am sharing some things that I've done. I'll put details in the comments, but this is with the Pack Your Bags collection from Simple Stories. And I gave myself all of it. I have the collectors, essential kit has like all the things in it. I grabbed more ephemera, a 6x8 pad. I had, of course, it came with the paper pack and the chipboard, and yeah, it came with all of this, the stickers and everything. And I have lots of fun theme layouts. So let's dive in. The one thing I do want to mention is I've altered my circles. This one here, I added a circle on. And this one here, I think I changed the size of my circle. These 2 circles, even though I cut them the same way, are 2 different sized circles. Or another thing you can do is just cut one circle, cut it in half, and then cut more off of one of them, and you'll end up with a smaller circle. Because I was in Design Space, I just modified. Okay, let's dive in. I'm also going to share my story with you. So we went to Little Havana when we went to Miami to sail out for a cruise a couple of years ago, or maybe it's a few years now. And these are all 3x4 mats, by the way, these 3. And so what ended up happening was, while we were there, George wanted to go to Dolphin Stadium because he is a Miami Dolphins fan. I know, poor him, right? I don't follow football, but I know enough to know that that's a shame. All right, so then these here are 12x5. When we got to the stadium, we rented a car at the airport. We only had one day because we were sailing out the next morning. And when we got to the stadium, he couldn't go anywhere near it because they had an event going on. So this picture that I'm going to have, that's going to be all the way on the right here, of this 3x4. I mean, I'm just lining these up because you know, they go right across from each other. So I feel like I like it right where it is. I'm using this ribbed paper from Basil. So it's a white paper, but it has little stripes on it. And what I really like about it, having those stripes, is because I've brought in these stripe designs here as well. And these are 12x3/8, and this is by 1/4. But I love to bring in striped paper. It's anytime there's a striped paper, you're probably going to find me using it in really small ways and stretching it through my pack, like through all my designs, because I love that it brings in every single color in the paper pack. I did not leave my glue upside down. Normally it does better. I think I'm going to use a little bit more glue here too. It's coming out, but it's like barely there because I think some's going to soak into those little, seep into those little things. Okay, here we go. Get my little glue thing out here. Okay, so as I mentioned, these are 12 by 3/8. All right, so we got to the stadium, and that's as close as George got. And if I was a crueler person, by the way, if you're a Miami fan, I'm really sorry, but my scrapbooking would say George got as close to the stadium as they have gotten to a Super Bowl since 1972. For those of you who don't know, they went completely undefeated in 1972, and that was a big deal because that doesn't happen very often. All right, so now I'm putting in that 12 by 1/4. The other thing that I'm doing is I am only using cardstock out of my stash. I buy cardstock from every company. This is Basil. This could be Photoplay. I could have some Echo Park. I could have a ton of Encore because I do like the way Encore cuts. So I buy a lot of Encore as well. But yes, okay, it's good for the top. It's good for the bottom. I'm so worried this is not straight across. I'm having an eye day. I spent a lot of time on the computer today, so my eyes are feeling it. All right. All right, so I took his picture by the stadium. Ha, funny lines. I'm not going to do that, but I do have quite a bit of journaling to record on this. And then after we left the stadium, where I wanted to go in Miami was Little Havana. I had read a lot about it, and I'm going to watch Touching My Photos. I had read a lot about it. It just seemed like it was going to be such a fun, bright, vibrant place to go, and it did not disappoint. It was so much fun. We got to see Domino Park, and that's famous for those of you who don't know. They actually play dominoes there. It's not just the name of the park. Here's a picture of it right here, and a couple of the gentlemen even let me take their picture. They were very sweet. And it was so great. Now this little shuffle up here, this is done in my Selfie app. And you're going to see a lot more of those because what I'm going to try to do is do a lot less pages and try to get more pictures just on 2 pages. My albums have become very fat, very thick, and I'm going to try to work using less foam tape. I know some of you are right now like, oh no, she didn't. Less foam tape, and try to find more creative ways to put lots more smaller and different photos in, and then focus on the photos that really matter. So what ended up happening with this one, why I loved it, is you're getting 6 pictures across the bottom. You have 3 here, and then by the time I added my little shuffle to it, this is the restaurant, so it's all the restaurant we went to right there. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 pictures on that, so lots of pictures on this. Okay, the little photos. Let me grab my notes. I love to write directly on it, so I don't have to, worry about those. Okay, so these are 2.5 by 3 1/4. So 2.5 across, 3 1/4 down, and you're going to have 5 of them. This is 6 1/4, 4 1/4. And this one here is a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So you're actually getting 4 of those, just one with a different orientation. I'm going to line these up and put these on, and then we'll keep going. This is even some old Close to My Heart paper right here. I have enough papaya. I don't know what I was thinking. I have enough papaya to last me the rest of my life. It happens, right? I'm going to lay this on here since I'm eyeballing it and I'm not measuring it. I'm not going to press, so hopefully it'll be kind to me as I move it over and just keep rechecking it. I do have a measurement on my board. This is a little thing I put on. I have a glass board underneath, but it gives off terrible glare for y'all. Okay, this one I want to do something to, so we're going to hold. That's George. Right there, here on the right, is George outside of the Miami Dolphin Stadium. This is the famous cigar place. I got so many good things. Tower Records, like, we just had a great time. Okay, let's get all the minis on while we're here. That Domino Park entrance There was constantly, I would have loved to have gotten one without somebody in the photo. There was constantly someone there. And I am printing photos from 2 locations. I am printing photos from my computer as well as printing photos from my phone for many things. And I will print from my computer directly to my selfie. I'm learning to try to get really good at that. I think it's more limited, but it's going to be great. And I have photo paper, 8.5 by 11 photo paper. 1 box to finish using up, but I'm definitely ordering another one. I like printing photos on my computer and typing on top of them and adding whatever I want. I know you can do that in some apps too, but I kind of like the format. Okay, for this piece here, I use the piece, and you can see there's another one here in the chipboard, and this works for me because when I said I have dozens and dozens and dozens of like travel pages, I am not kidding. Like, it's bad. So I'm able to use 2 of these. I'm okay. I could do this and put it in another layout, like, or another album, the exact same thing, and I would be fine because I don't think someone's going to come to my house and look through every single album that I have, and they probably wouldn't remember it that well anyway. I do have some other things, and I'll bring them in, but what I did was I pulled this out and I just put it on some black paper and I trimmed it really rough. I didn't even care if it looked good because I just want it to stand out a little bit more. I'm not going to be eyeballing it, making sure that it looks perfect. That's another thing. Done is better than perfect. I used to say that a lot, and I am going back to it. All right. Really like these. There you go. I like these a lot, and most photo places are offering these as well. So, you can do those. It's a great way to get more. The Geo Marker one is what I went with because I really like it. And this layout here, I loved the hearts. I really loved the heart background. That was my favorite. All right, we're going to line this up using the other one. I have the big gun out. That's how you know that I've got a lot of planning going on, because I do try to often use the smaller adhesive rolls when I'm videoing. Okay, I'm just going to make sure this is kind of pulled out of the way. And I'm going to line it up like this. There we go. If it's not straight, I don't know what to say. I often find when I like separation too, when the background's white and I'm using white paper, and adding the little strips at the top and the bottom, that really helps it. I don't think this was the original design, so let me share that as well. In the original design, it just had like a little piece there, and I added the stripes to bring in that color palette. And as I mentioned before, I do that a lot. Anytime I get a stripe that has the whole color palette, I like to bring it in. I feel like this one's crooked too. Maybe I'm crooked. Okay. I would love to know if you guys are sketch scrapbookers #1, and then to what level you take that to. Do you like pre-do layouts? That's something else that I do, especially to get rid of the paper pack. Do you like working with pre-done layouts? Are you able to put a layout together and then use it later? Or do pre-done layouts kind of, not really work for your crafting, whether it's your mojo or your mindset or whatever you call it, your vibe. All right, I'm going to put this one on here just about the same distance. Okay. Looks pretty good to me. Okay. All right. And I'm really looking forward to doing this again. I already have one more chosen, but because I have so much scrapbooking and I'm really comfortable working with a sketch, some of them I may, do one and share it. I'm only going to share the one that I did, which was the baby one, which you do pre-done. This one, and then one more. I'm going to try to do 2 to show the remix of each one in the series, but you'll get to at least see 3. And on this one, you'll see 4 if you count the picture in the guide. There we go. Okay, all good things. All right, so some layering. I want this, the smaller of the circles, which this one ended up at about 3, and it's about 3.5 inches across. But like I said, you could just, cut the circle heavy if you want. I just did 2 half circles in Design Space, how I wanted. I'm going to put it right about here. I don't want it centered, and I don't want this one to be at the same height. I want all 3 of them to be different. This one here I'm going to put closer to the edge. I'm going to get all my pieces down, and then we can, I'm wondering if I want it kind of right underneath of it or not, or do I want to go all the way over? I would like to see a lot of it. I think I'm going to go all the way over. All right, and this is going on top. This is going on top of it. Okay, so what I have here is, let's talk about the progression of my pictures. So over here is the Coconut King of Little Havana. I was super excited when I found him. Here's me drinking his coconut. This is where he hangs out. I did a little research. He was kind enough to stop what he was doing and take a picture, and he made me laugh like right before we were getting the picture done. The other thing is, you will hear about the chickens. And so I was lucky to get a picture of this rooster, and I liked that. You will see classic cars and trucks all over Little Havana. I wanted to make sure that I captured that. And then Domino Park. And then, of course, this represents a lot because this is the people of Little Havana. And so I liked that as well. And I thought that this all came together. Well, let's go ahead and get all these down. This is how I would normally do all my pictures so that I don't have to pick up my gun and put it down as much. And it's all fine. I'm very heavy-handed. That's why my papers move so much. It's all fine until you move and then they stick to each other. All right. I'm going to kind of go with like a little centering here, here, and here, but just eyeball. I'm going to do this one right next to it, about, the same amount. Oh, it's a little crooked. Same thing here, which will leave me a little bit of extra room over here. I'm going to do that spacing again. Okay. I really love this paper pack. A lot of the travel paper pack that I have gotten recently, or that I've pulled or that I've gravitated to, has been a little more junk or older. I actually have a workshop that I'm working on, and even that collection, they're darker muted tones. And these were just very bright, vibrant. And I feel like I needed to have some of that balance with my travel. Okay. So I don't want this to come all the way up like this one. I'm going to put this on an angle and bring it over the picture. You can choose to do either way. So it's a little bit lower. Okay. And then that way I can bring this Enjoy the Journey in, and it's not going to cut my head off, but it's going to leave enough room for me to put Enjoy the Journey. I'm going to put Little Havana, Miami, and the year underneath. And then I have enough room to do some journaling, and I'm going to share that with you as well. All right, let me tell you what else I have here. I have Doodlebug Designs little cameras. I am a camera junkie. I love to put cameras on my pages. So I grabbed these, and the colors match so nicely. I've been sitting on these for a while. I grabbed some, I never grabbed the bling when I got this collection. If I have it in my stash, I guess I'll pull it out. But I grabbed these because I thought most of the colors matched well. Not the off-white, but a good bit. And then I grabbed these in case I want something sparkly because I thought these colors matched well. I don't have to use the same thing on everything. As a matter of fact, if there's some way you can stop buying a little bit here or there, do it. Just stop buying a little bit here and there, and it will help you save a little bit of money. Yes, but also it'll help you get really comfortable with mixing your products, and that will extend your stash. Yes, I'm still using up close to my heart foam tape. You want to talk about somebody who FOMO'd something? Woo! Okay. All right, there we go. I'm going to put this on foam tape. And we're going to come back and, or I'm going to then come back to this picture here. All right, let's do this. And I did pre-choose some things that I might like to have for this. I find if I pull some bits and pieces out, sometimes they're actually called bits and pieces if they're from Simple Stories. But if I pull a few things out, it helps me kind of get through everything a little bit faster. All right, so we are going to go, and I'm doing this on an angle. I don't know if it's diagonal, cockeyed. Woo-woo. All right, I have this little van with the luggage on the top, and I am thinking about putting that up there. But I'm not 100, so I'm going to let it sit there. I grabbed this tag, and it says, "Go to your happy place." And I think this is kind of cute, and I was thinking about putting this down here, so I'm going to sit it there as my thought. And then I have this here with some luggage and a little globe. And I kind of like the way that fits there. And then I just grabbed a few pieces. I have like a little set of binoculars, some flowers, different things. Let me grab. Here we go. I just grabbed some bits and pieces. Okay. And then I have two pieces over here. You may have seen it laying, this notes, which is going to help me do some more journaling. And since this is all we have of my, like, I couldn't do much with this, right? All the pictures were in the same spot. So it's not like I was going to do a whole page. This is going to help me with that. And then there's a thing here that says, "I'd go everywhere with you." And I like that, but we're going to go ahead and mark this off first. I want this notes to kind of stand up like this. So when we put it down, it's going to kind of look like this. And that notes is going to be right there. So in order to do that, I'm going to hold it where I want it and flip it over. And then I'm just going to take a pencil, going old school, and I'm going to draw a little line right there. Okay. And then I'm going to get some foam tape. All right, and what I'm going to do is create a stopper right about this level. And this has to fit in here. So it's good once you are going to do your stopper. I don't know why I put that down so crooked, because I'm crooked today. Once you put your stopper in, it's good to lay the piece on it so you know how much you have on each side. I don't want this to fit tight. So this looks like a good amount. I'm going to actually cut this in half because this is a little thicker and I'm using this up. My preferred size for foam tape is 1/4 of an inch. I do keep 1/8 of an inch around, but we're going to do this because this is going to make sure that it doesn't kind of wiggle back and forth after we get it on. And there we go. And then I'm going to want to puff up the bottom portion here a little bit so that that doesn't end up getting pushed in. All right, just kind of balance it all out. And this is going to create a pocket for that journaling. So you'll just be able to pull it out, and I can write all on the front and on the back. And I may even do my journaling on the computer, and I do it really small, and then I cut it in little strips and I put it on there. I do my journaling like at one time when I am in the mood. So I keep a file by my computer, and anything that's ready to be journaled, I put in there, but it has a lot of written notes in it. I'm just going to make sure that I get that sticky off because I don't want it to end up sticking. I don't want the notes to end up sticking to it. Okay, we'll go ahead and peel it and put it down. Getting one off, I threw the other one on. Go figure. Okay. I really like to add simple things like this. Oh no. Did I? Oh no, I'm good. Okay. Okay. was like, did I put that on upside down? And there it is. See, so our notes will fit just like this. And then I'll just put a little slit in my page protector. You can pull it out, and that's so much more. I can get everything about Dolphin Stadium and what happened while we were there and the whole story on that little thing, especially if I type it, because, you know, I can go a little smaller. Now I have a little bit of extra room here, and the sky is kind of cloudy, and I kind of like this. I'd go everywhere with you, you know, including Dolphin Stadium. So I think I'm going to probably put this here and let it touch, and I'm going to just lay out a few things. Now, one thing I did pull out is I did an album. I used to do a whole album, kind of similar to Close to My Heart. I did my own albums, but this was a rounded little thing to put circles, like dots around a circle. This is so easy to make something like this in Design Space, or you can, if you can do it with a regular hole punch, this is really what you need. So if you are cutting a circle out, you can cut another circle and then just cut a piece of it, and you just lay it up against your circle, and then you color the dots in, and you know they'll go in that nice arch. But I have striped paper, so I don't think it's like ribbed. This paper is a white rib. I don't know if it's going to pick up, but I feel like those dots may not go well because of that. So I'm not going to do that. But if you're doing yours, I'd love to see it. All right, so I have a little here we go with a ticket. And then I have these tickets. One of them are going to work. I have a geo marker because I used this geo marker in here to see if I want to put that somewhere. I'm just going to start laying some pieces out. It looks a little washed out to me. Oh, I love this little thing that says go everywhere, but I don't want to throw off. I don't want to throw off my layout at all. So we're going to have to make sure that that was tucked in. I have two here and there because that's my other thing. Where would I go? Here, there, and everywhere. It's true. This matches the background, and I thought that would be pretty cute. But I don't want to cover anything up. So we're gonna play. I'm not sure about this tag, but we are going to. I think I don't like too many words there. Okay. I have some flowers. I like these two pieces, but I like them on top of each other. And I'm just kind of playing, looking to see if I want to build a cluster out of these. And sometimes when I'm doing that, it does kind of take me a little bit, because you have to, you know, keep picking it up and putting it down. I think I like it down here better, but I do like the van at the top. Okay, we're going to want to make that map stand out a little bit more. Okay. And I had this little striped dangly tag that I was hoping I was going to be able to put over here, but I feel like it's going to cover that up now. We flew in, so this is a great way to add some journaling when you have tags that have these things. I feel like I'm kind of liking this. And then I want to take a look at my stickers. Would really like to put a ticket over here as part of this cluster. Just kind of build behind it. There we go. I like that this has all the colors on it, so I'm always going to be looking at anything that has all the colors on it. I think I might tuck this behind this. Let's have a little look-see. That brings that in. I'm going to pass on the bag. I want to like the bag, but the bag's not working for me. I'm going to swap this camera out for the binoculars. I think I like that better, especially since I have those little calendars. I still have this here and there, and I do like it. I just want to see if there's any other place where I could fit this in, before I give up on it. All right, now I want to go to my stickers. Normally, I go off camera to keep these videos shorter, but I recently had someone tell me that they really like me going through the process. So I'm going to go through the process that I go through on one of them, and then on the other one, I'm not. Okay, so I hope that that kind of helps. All right, I want to look at this. I want to look at some things. All these words, they speak to me. I'm a person who really likes all the words, so don't be surprised when I start pulling those and pulling those and putting those on, which is where I'm to now. I will be using this over a lot, and I don't want this to be too busy. This is the only thing that I'm not super happy with, is this tag in this corner here. I just feel like it needs a better anchored cluster. There's a little pack your bags. I think I'm going to go into the chipboard. The chipboard gives such great dimension that we're going to go for the chipboard. And there's a little pack your bags right here. All right. They are stickers, by the way. This little pack your bags is cute. So I have to kind of hover it and then decide what else I'm going to do with it. I think I'm going to, if I add some flowers down here for the pack your bags, and you'll see I have a lot of the same components in the different things. And that's important. Where's that? Let's see. And I like this little heart maybe to go with it. We'll see. And then I might bring the camera in. I like this better, but I don't know about the camera. Okay. And let's grab my case. I did want this luggage, this suitcase that was on the top, but I opted not to pop that in there. But since I'm putting a flower on here, I don't want this to be the only spot that there are flowers. So even though I like this stripe up here, I can add this with some little flowers, a little pop of flowers there, and it's going to bring the flowers in over here. Just digging through my case. When you have all the things, it works out really well. Here's another little flower here. So maybe I'll group that as part of this. All right. You can even sometimes, if you're not going to use a piece, like say you weren't going to use this, you can cut a circle or something out of the flower part. I really try to get every single little bit that I can out of my stuff, and because I want to get rid of it. So I want to use it as fast as I can so I can let it go. Okay. I like this little flower right here. This will give me one more flower, but it's the same color as this one. Let me just see what else I have. So many pieces because it's all fresh and new. These are sometimes the things I struggle with the most. Okay, I feel like I didn't trade this for a very good option on that one. I don't know how I feel about that, but I do see a little heart that I want to snag, because I was looking for something that would go on top over here. It would be green. My suitcase is green. I think I'll just pull one off the stickers. There's probably one on there. All right, I'm back to this one. I'm going to have to open the next bag of compliments, I think. All right. All right, I'm going to swap and just take this one right here so that I can have a different color, because I don't want something too similar. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this down. I feel like I'm good to go. The first thing I want to do is I want to make this stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to grab my black broad tip marker and use the broad tip, of course, and I'm just going to kind of go around this. You can ink if you want, but I find this is faster, and I already take long enough to do everything. So this really does provide some separation for the pieces, and it's just a quick, easy tip. Ink, if you're going to ink, you don't want to flick, so you don't want to flick like this. You want to use a foam and not a sponge, and you want to kind of just rub it very lightly on it. But honestly, you know, there's a reason why we keep these in stock. Okay. All right, let's see if I can remotely put some of this together. How's that sound? Okay, so we're going to start with this piece. I'm not going to press anything down. I do use a forgiving adhesive. It took me a long time to find adhesive that I like. My next favorite adhesive would be currently for a tape runner is Nuvo. I really like the Nuvo tape runners. I actually have some in my drawer. I think they are just such a lovely adhesive. I'm just some more separation. I'm just going to keep my marker off to the side there. When you have some things that are the same color, it'll add to that. Just layering a few things up here. These two pieces. Thought this just looked cuter. Oh, here you go. This is why I love my adhesive. I make a lot of mistakes. There we go. And that's missing a little something. I know that. Let's grab some more foam tape. Okay. You could also put what is the just layers of cardstock on the back. You don't have to use foam tape. I keep tons of white strips of cardstock, and I will sometimes just use those, just like I would foam tape. I just glue them right on top of each other, 3 or 4 layers, and it's not as thick as the foam tape, but you still get some of that dimension. All right, so I had some binoculars over here, and I have this little flower, just to kind of bring the flower in, and just want to make sure that that's the way I want it. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think that that's going to work for me. I'm going to put the binoculars on foam tape as well. Just kind of level, turning that flower so that it kind of frames the E in the Explorer. This is where I spend most of my time. If you go back and you look at the video, you will find that it's putting all the elements on. That is where most of my time goes when I'm scrapbooking. And I will struggle over where to put bling or anything like that sometimes. And then when I get done, I'm like, I have no idea why I overthought that so much. Okay, there we go. Really like how this turned out, and I still have room to put that little Havana, and then I can put Miami, Florida, and the year. I can do that right there. So, or I could even up top here, I can put little Havana, and then down here I can put the other. So divide it. This here I was looking at, and I was thinking about moving it up here. That's not going to work for me because it's going to take away from pulling that out. I would like a little something right here, so I'm just going to kind of keep that in mind as I'm putting the rest of my pieces on. If something speaks to me, I'll add it to that part of the circle. All right, I want to tuck this behind here. There we go. All right, not sure about my little geo marker. Let's put, I'm going to do this regular, no foam tape. So just the binoculars are going to be on some foam tape. There we go. Okay, down, checking all the things. I'm going to grab my pack your bags with the little flowers that brought the flowers into everything. And I want to look for a heart on here. So this is the color heart that I had. Just that green, and that's not going to stand out on this. Another thing I'll do is I will grab a thin cut and just cut a little heart out with one of my thin cuts out of matching paper. Okay, I have that down, and they are a little tight, so let's see which way I want to do this. I have to decide if I want it to be towards the outside or towards the inside. Okay. I want a little something on the bottom of this as well. I'm just gone to the stickers to see what there is that I might bring in a little bit more. I think I'm going to swap off and maybe use that strip across the bottom. Yeah, definitely. Okay, we're going to go with this. I'm just going to kind of shove this right here. And I'm hiding the little circle, but not a ton. There we go. Letting that stick out. I'm going to remove the camera. I think the camera is a little big for what I'm going for. There is a little ticket. I'm going to cut it off. I can use the other part on something else, but I'm going to tuck this instead of that big camera. I even think that the flowers that I have here are a little bigger than I want. So on here, the one on the stickers, this one's a little smaller. I'm going to switch to that so it's not so overpowering. And I'm going to tuck this back there. Oh, like that, so much better. Now I'm just going to kind of look at the other things that I might have. I like this heart as well, this little squiggle. I like the here and there little stick. I've liked this since the beginning. I'm going to add this to it, right above it. You can just build a cluster out of anything, really. I think the thing with like creating clusters is to just keep putting things on it until it has become what you want it to be. Like it's not, there's no, end all be all for this is how you create the best clusters ever in the world. At least if there is, I don't know the trick. So if you find out, you let me know. Okay, I really like this. The only thing is I really wanted a little heart right here, but I did not want that heart to be the same color. So I'm going to have to add a little heart right there. I'm going to have to dig a thin cutout. So when you see the picture, it's probably going to have it right there. I also usually don't have my journaling on when I do the pictures either, because as I mentioned earlier, I do that. All right, let's get out some foam tape here. I need to put some foam tape in this upper corner, and then a little bit of adhesive right here. I love this. I'd go everywhere with you. I don't want to be too close. Like I want to be able to see the little bit of the stadium in the back there. Okay, there we go. Oh yes, this has all the things for me, and I really like that. And then it still has places for me to put a lot. Guys, look, but it would be doubled up. Oh, it's going to be so thick. It was meant to be. Okay, there it is. Okay. Oh, I like it so much. Okay, let's go ahead and grab the little bits that I have. Okay, so for my journaling, like I said, there's a glare on this photo. Anytime I have that, I like to put real thin, I'm talking like 3/8 of an inch across to do my journaling. This, you already know, is going to have my story on it. I wish I had something right here. I have something for right here. So there we go. Just to kind of to bring it all the way across, and so it's not just here and here. It has a little bit better flow. I lost my foam tape that fast. You guys probably can see my foam tape. You're probably like, it's right there, Tina, it's right there. Okay, and I need to close my marker. I do this a lot. I leave my markers open so I can just grab them. It's like I'm a barbarian over here with my pieces. Okay, here we go. And I'm gonna split this so I can get that little piece. I have a feeling that would maybe sag. Okay. Yeah, when I have thin cuts now, I almost never use foam tape. I just cut the thin cut portion, like if I'm coloring it or something, I just cut multiple layers of it and then just pop it up there. Okay, there we go. I really wanted to use this little heart, but it's just not cooperating with me. It's like, why won't you cooperate with me? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to start with are these little cameras. These little cameras. And I believe these are Doodlebug designs. Don't hold me to it because I don't know where my package is, but I think they're Doodlebug designs. So I'm going to do a light one. They have all these colors in them right here. There we go. That one's kind of cute. And then I'm going to do this one right here. Oh, and by the way, they have little happy faces in them. What? Oh, I lost my sticky because I didn't bend it back. That's okay. Ta-da, fixed it. Let me show you these little happy faces. I don't know if you picked up on that. The little blues, they're like little happy faces. That's so cute. Okay, so over here, I'm just going to look and see if there's one that I might like to put at the end. I know I don't want a white one or a yellow because that's what's there, but this blue one, there we go. That's cute. I like that. And maybe up in here I could get another one in there. You know what? I had this other half of the ticket. I'm just kind of lifting that up a little bit. I got something else to stick in there. There you go. Just keep playing. Keep putting your bits down and don't think anyone's better at putting bits than you. Just say I'm gonna get really good at putting bits down. Making me think of the bits. Okay, here we go. I need to lift that up a little bit so you can read the here we go. All right, there we go. Here we go. Okay, and now I'm gonna add a little camera on here as well. I'm gonna do the black one. Just adding these adorable little cameras. My pen just fell. Hold on, let me just stick my pen back in. That is super cute. And as you're growing your layout and you're doing more, I mean, you can just keep adding bits, but at some point you have to say, you know, enough is enough and let it go. You know, and stop playing with it. You can see, like, what are we, an hour in? Yes, I can spend an hour on a layout that was already pre-cut easily, again and again. All right, so I want to do all the colors of this. I'm going to do I'm not going to do these after all. I'm going to pull them back and save them though. And the reason why is because the cameras are a little glossy. So I'm going to bring in these, and these are fur baby cat. Because once you see these, you're going to be like, what are they? And I cut my bling down in my packages because then they fit in my drawer. And then sometimes I don't put this back in, but I've been trying to be better at that. Okay, look at these. So this, and this. I think this here is a no, but if you look, this, and this, those are all a yes. So, yay. All right, so we're going to do one of these, and one of these. There we go. That is super. I really like that a lot. Okay, and over here, actually, this matches too. I just had it over here, and I would absolutely love that there. Okay, so we're gonna go with this one, and this one here. I'd like to get a big one in here, but I don't. I think the big is just going to kind of take away from what I have, but let's give it a try. Maybe the yellow, you wouldn't notice as much there. Okay, there we go. Little 3 that way. I think that one's going to be left alone. Let's move over here. Told you, I can really spend some time just picking where I want the smallest things to go. That is just my process. It's how it works. I don't know why. If I could change it, I probably would. See how that kind of goes with that. I really like that. Okay, and let's do this one and this one. There we go. Just kind of putting 3 everywhere on this, and then just seeing if I want them anywhere else. Okay, I do not want to overdo this, and I think I'm done. All right, about time. No, I'm just kidding you. I find this normally very relaxing, and yeah, but okay, so here is I'm going to trim this off because it is that my little blue pieces were just a little bit long, and seeing them just kind of makes me feel like I can't put these up against each other. Okay, here it is. So now this is once again with the Pack Your Bags collection. I'll have this, we will have a new, you can just go to the description of the video and I'll have a link for all of this collection there for you. But we are revising our website so that I can focus more on highlighted items, and highlighted items are the ones that I'm going to be working with in case you want to craft along with me. Okay, so here it is. And then also, I really want to encourage you on the remix. I love how the 124 is in here upside down. It barely looks like a ticket anymore. That's so funny. Okay, here we go. That dimension, all the little things. Isn't that great? Loving the shuffle. And there you go. Okay, so that highlighted section is to focus on in case you want to craft along with me, but I'll also have in there, you can see all the details of what I have. Now, this collection is going to come back again and again because I have so much of it, and each 3 ways is going to focus. One of them will be a travel. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the 3 ways again that we have. And then please keep in mind that I still have one more coming, and that will be from our trip to Kentucky to see the Ark. Okay, so we have this one here. Super, and they're all great because you can just adapt and change. And then this one here. Isn't that great? And then this one here, you can see one with photos, right? Look at all those photos that I got on there, and lots of room for my journaling still exists, and I like that. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me and letting me share this process with you. Don't forget to tell me if you are a sketch scrapbooker, if you do remix, do you make a layout multiple times? I really want to hear about what your process is while you're scrapbooking. So, you know, that way we're kind of together in this, right? All right, guys, thanks so much. Hit that like button if you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment, say hi. I'll make sure to get back with you. All those things really do help me out here in the YouTube community, and they just remind me that, you know, I'm doing this and I'm sharing this and I like it and I like all of you. Take care. Bye.